Hi, and welcome to my second week update on the carnivore diet. I had a really good week, and I did not do many entries. I think I did 2 entries in my notebook because I worked 60 hours since last week, Wednesday. So it's 5 days of 12-hour shifts, just really busy, but it was a solid good week. I'll start off with my typical order of how I do my videos. One is the weight loss. I started off the carnivore diet 2 weeks ago at 214.8. Today I weighed in at 205.8, so it's 9 pounds lost in 2 weeks. My body fat continues to go down. My body water percentage continues to go up. Skeletal muscle has also gone up, and my protein is up to 12%. Still on the low end, but I'm actually doing pretty well with my percentages and the way I want to go. When it comes to the symptoms, there was one day I had eggs, and normally I make either scrambled eggs or fried eggs, and they weren't really bothering me, but I made up 3 eggs and wanted to do a really slow cook, so they were like on the softer side, because that's really how I like them, but I think I made them too soft, and I'm not really sure, but when I ate just the eggs, I got really dizzy and nauseous and had a headache for a few hours. So I'm not really sure what that's all about. I've had eggs since then and don't have the same symptoms, but then I had hard-boiled eggs. So I don't know if it's because the whites aren't cooked maybe enough and I need them well cooked for me to digest them better. I'll keep an eye on that. I'll get to my food here in a minute, but for my other symptoms as to what I was doing the carnivore diet in the first place, obviously the first one was fatigue. That is definitely continuing to improve. I don't have as much, I guess, I won't say energy, but I didn't really want to exercise after work. That was kind of my plan, was get out of work at midnight because I work 12 to 12 and maybe go for a walk and do a little bit of weightlifting because I have some free weights here where I'm living. And I want to say 3 to 4 nights over the past week, I have what I call a healing sleep, where I get to the point where I need to pass out. And I got that about 10 or 11 p.m. at night when I was at work, and it was a little concerning. So, but I only live 2 miles away from the hospital, so I was able to get back, take my shower, and I would just pass out. So obviously my body is going into a state of healing, so I don't want to mess too much of that up, and I do walk at least 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day at work. So I'm going to have to put off maybe more exercise later. I did do some free weights yesterday because I haven't had the need for a healing sleep in a couple of days. So, instead of pushing my luck, if you will, I just did a few sets of arm exercises and some squats. So the fatigue is obviously better. Muscle aches, this is great. My left hip pain that I've had for years and years, I've always used to sleep on my left side. My husband and I have specific spots on a bed that we sleep, and it was actually, I've always slept on my left side, and he would snuggle up behind me. But for the last, I don't know if it's been 3, 4, 5 years, we'll start off, I'll be on my left side, but then after not even 20 minutes, my left hip will ache and ache and ache, and I'll have to turn over and sleep on my right side. So it's very, it was always but during the day I wouldn't get pain. It was just at night would have this really bad left hip pain. So I don't know if it was arthritis, which I'm assuming it is, because again, I didn't really have any pain throughout the day. But now that hip pain, I've not had it in 5 days, 6 days. And that's the best. I mean, that is amazing. So I'm happy with that because I can sleep on my left side or my right side. The muscle aches I would get my legs since starting the diet. I would have pain just throughout my thighs, my back, my hips, like in the muscles. That has completely stopped, and I have not added any electrolytes. Now, I did buy the Element electrolytes people have recommended, and I got the no flavors, just the plain electrolytes, and I have not needed any of them yet. So but I have them on standby just in case I do. But those muscle aches, they weren't cramps. I haven't had any leg cramps at all. It was just achiness, and that's been completely gone this past week. So that's good as well. Menopause symptoms, I have had a few days where I felt really hot, but I didn't sweat, and I wouldn't consider them hot flashes. It's just where I felt hot. But the other 5 days, I actually felt cold when everybody else was feeling cold because the AC is on in the hospital, and I've never ever felt cold at work. So I think that maybe my hormones are actually starting to balance out because I just seem to be, my body is actually responding to the cooler temperatures, and I'm able to tolerate the heat better. I was out in the sun yesterday for maybe, I don't know, half an hour. It was 85 degrees. Normally, that's not something I could do. I mean, I was always intolerant to the heat. Anything above 75, 80 was not something I would enjoy. And I had zero problems. So that was really nice. My dental inflammation, my gum inflammation is actually down. I'm still bleeding a little bit with the flossing, but it's minor and it's definitely improving. So my minor eczema flares, I've had, as you can see, a little itching, but that's because I've still had dairy, and I'll talk about that in my food topic, but nothing where I have any marks or sores or anything that's open. So that's really good. The other things are longer term things that I was hoping maybe for improvement, like the tinnitus, the varicose veins, my ADD. But I would say the ADD, I think, is better. I don't feel the need to do multiple things at once all the time. When I'm home, I'm usually got the TV on, I'm on my phone, and I got something else by me doing something. So I've actually been able to focus on some of the shows I was watching, which I only watched 2 nights of any TV. And so that's actually pretty good for me. So, and the other thing in thinning hair, my hairbrush, I would have to always clean out every 7 to 10 days. It would have a whole bunch of hair. And it's been 2 weeks and I haven't cleaned out my hairbrush yet. And it doesn't need a hair. There's a few hairs in it, but nothing that I could really clean out. And so that's definitely improving. So that's where I'm at with all my symptoms. I feel, again, amazing and so much better. Now, as for my food that I'm eating, so last week I talked about how I would get the ick kind of with the chicken, and definitely ground beef with eggs was not good. Some eggs would get a little bit of icky with, but I thought, sure, after I had those soft eggs and had that weird symptoms with the dizziness and stuff, that I was going to be adverse to having eggs. But I did make some deviled eggs with sour cream and Not the same as mayonnaise, so I might use try some avocado mayo here in the future. We'll see. Um, but chicken, I actually had chicken wings one night. They had some garlic and parmesan on them, and they were really good. And I actually only ate 4 chicken wings, and that was my entire meal for the entire day. So I've been actually eating, I'm down to 1 meal a day, which is just naturally because I don't feel hungry anymore, except for I get hungry somewhere between 2 and 5 p.m. Yesterday it was like 5:30 p.m. So I'm actually doing really, really well with that. I've been eating some steak. I did buy a roast for my next meal plan for my next 4 days. Had some burger patties. I think I had one thing of fish this week. Some bacon, obviously some bone broth, and on and off I'll have some of the kefir, but it's only a few sips here and there. But my thing is, because of the itching and stuff, I really got to get away from the dairy for now, except for the kefir, because I want to keep the good bacteria, and I just feel like I need to have a few sips every day. So it's just really hard for me for dairy. It's not that I crave it. I don't even crave cheese. It's very bizarre, but it's like if I had a hamburger last night, I can't imagine having a hamburger without cheese. I've tried, and it's tasteless to me, even though I can put on garlic and salt and everything else, and I still can't swap. Like, I just can't eat the hamburger without the cheese. So I might have to give up even ground beef for now, to get away from the dairy. Trying to think what else I would have dairy with. Oh, I was having, I had a couple cups of coffee on my first week, and I had, what did I have? I had some symptoms that appeared from drinking. Oh, it was the sore at the tip of my tongue. That's completely gone now. Obviously, that's why I can't remember, but I had the sore that developed, or a ridge, I would call it, for like 3 or 4 days. And I had coffee 2 days in a row, and it started right after that first cup of coffee. So I wasn't sure if it was the creamer, because I used raw cream, or if it was the coffee, but I think it's the coffee, because I can still have dairy, like the sour cream, and it doesn't bother my tongue at all. So coffee's out for now, and I'm okay with that. It's like I miss the enjoyment of it, I guess, but it's just I can have my hot cup of broth in my coffee mug and still have an enjoyment, enjoying relaxing time with that. So I don't miss the coffee right now. And I did try making this thing I saw online. It's called the carnivore bread. I don't know what it is. It's like a block of cream cheese, a stick of butter, and 8 eggs, and you bake it. And I would have to say that the texture I'm a texture person. I didn't care for the texture too much. The taste wasn't too bad, but basically I dumped it out. I had like a couple of bites, and I'm like, this isn't worth it. Not with all the dairy in it, the cream cheese and stuff. And that's, I think, why I'm itching a little bit here and there. I don't, like I said, have any openings, but on my skin. But I think that the cream cheese, I just gotta go dairy free for now. And so I'll see how that goes this week. I do have a few of my hamburgers left with some slices of cheese. I'll finish that out. I'll stick with my butter, and because butter doesn't seem to bother me, but I will continue to cut back on the dairy and see where I go for next week, because I was hoping to lose at least 10 pounds over the last 2 weeks. 9 pounds is great. I'm very happy with that. So I just think that the dairy has kind of interrupted a lot of things, and it's time to just cut that out and just go as strict as possible here. So that's where I'm at, and I will be back next week to let y'all know how my 3 weeks has been.